Alright guys, yeah, I know what y'all clicked on, so let's just get straight into it. But what I will be saying right now is that this review is of The Witcher 3, but I also tried out multiple platforms just to see what the differences were and if I could find any, and if there were any pros and cons versus every platform, PC, Xbox One, and PS4. So hopefully this review will be helpful, as I did try all three platforms to do this review for you guys over the course of quite a few days. So let's get into it. The Witcher 3 is a story of magic, monsters, warriors, and nudity. Geralt returns with this story concluded in past titles with the new quest. The Wild Hunt is a group of believed to be monsters, beasts, and magical creatures who attack in the north. Geralt seems like the only person who's able to stop them, so he sets out for answers and begins a new mission with more quests.
There is a griffin in the area. Slay it, and then I shall see what I can do.
It's a deal. Some questions before I start. Know where the griffin has its lair?
It kept to the vault.
Controls. The controls feel more like an action game than an RPG. You have fast attacks, strong attacks, parry, dodge, and you can even throw things like smoke bombs to get an advantage over stronger or faster foes. The combat is reminiscent of games like Assassin's Creed, but it gets a little bit more complex with things like Witcher skills that add to battles, providing you with various effects you would expect in an RPG game like shields, strong attacks, poison, slowdown, and various other effects. Along with this, you have Witcher senses that help you to find items and provide clues throughout the games. You even have a horse, and when things get a little bit more crazy, you even get on a boat to travel to some points. The controls have a lot of things to learn. Whether you're on a keyboard and mouse or a traditional controller, everything is smooth and fluid. It doesn't really matter. As far as preferences goes, it's really about what you feel comfortable with. You use it. There's no advantage or disadvantage. Of course, with the keyboard, you have more buttons laid out at once, but this game is set up in a way where the controller suffices just as nicely as any keyboard and mouse. So this is a definite good setup and scheme on the controllers.
They won't say anything I don't already know. I need to go where your men died. Look around. What's the name of the hunter who found them?
Mislav. He has a hut south of the village, very near the wood. Helpful fellow. A little strange, though.
Tamira and Mislav. Thanks.
Es sunt jakten.
Graphics. Now let's talk about the graphics for a minute, because this is a topic that has a lot going on for this game. Okay, first of all, a lot of people are concerned about the whole 1080p versus 900p with Xbox and PS4. I'm going to exclude PC for the simple fact that the PC version looks better than both, for the fact that it has higher textures and it has a draw distance that makes things look clearer and puts more in the screen for you to see in a distance. So that gives PC an advantage over the consoles. So I'm going to exclude PC when I talk about this, because it doesn't have this issue that a lot of people may notice, or the fanboys of this game may notice. Okay, first of all, let's explain the whole 900p, 1080p Xbox dynamic scaling that goes on. I want to say that Xbox did the right thing, because this game is not just an RPG, it's an action RPG, so you needed to have steady frame rates. Now, PS4, however, does have some jitter, and it does have some jumping when you get into high action and you do things Like when you shoot fire at a group of people, you may notice a little jitter and jumping. Now, I'm not going to judge it so far because they say that there's going to be a day one patch to fix this. So we have to wait and see. But as of currently right now, that is happening with the PlayStation version. Now let's talk about the Xbox version. The graphics in the Xbox version looks similar to me to the PS4, but there is a slight difference. Now, I tested 4 different display types because if you know my setup, I do have dual monitors, and one of the monitors that I use has 3 display types, plus then you have my regular monitor. Now, when I did check the display types, what I noticed was that the Xbox One version looks different than the PS4 version as far as how the lighting is set up in the game. When you look at the background, it seems to have more lighting on the PS4 version, and the Xbox version seems to be slightly darker, but the graphical detail is hardly any difference at all. The only difference I did notice in the 2 games is the lighting is different on the Xbox One, where it just looks slightly darker than the PS4 one. Now, as far as the gameplay, you may have a little bit of a darker game on Xbox One versus PS4. PS4 is brighter to me, but then the Xbox One is more stable. So you do have to make a choice there if you have multi-platforms. If you have a PC, I would suggest you just skip all of this and go straight to PC. However, if you do have just a PlayStation, you will be able to play the game, and hopefully that patch comes out to stop those things from happening when effects take place. Because when heavy effects happen, like magical spells and certain cutscenes come in, you do notice some jittering and jumping, which is what I would consider to be screen tears. Even though they're subtle, you do see them. Now, on the Xbox One version, it's more stable and you don't hardly see those jumps. But like I said, if it's not 60 frames, it's still not quite that great. But for 30 frames, it's stable on Xbox One. I would have to give the graphical performance to Xbox One. I would have to give the graphical detail to the PC. And I would have to give the graphical clarity to the PS4 out of the console. So overall, I would say that it doesn't matter what platform you have. If you play the game, you should be fine. But PS4 is lacking slightly in performance on this game, in my opinion. But graphically, the PS4 looks very bright and alive and vivid. And on all 3 consoles, it looks great. And when I say consoles, of course, I mean platforms, because PC is not a platform. So, like I said, it looks great on both consoles to me. And the Xbox One, like I said, if you have a dynamic mode on your TV, you'll see the differences in the 2 versions. That's the only time I notice the difference, when I put it in dynamic mode. One's sharper, which is the PlayStation version. It looks a little bit sharper to me. But I don't play games in dynamic mode, so you probably don't either. So it's your boy Jimmybgaming. Hopefully in this graphical section, I was able to answer some questions for you guys. If you have any other questions about this or any of the other topics that we're breaking down in this review, do leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer it. Let's move on. The Witcher 3 ran into its fair share of concerns, but overall those concerns came from likely fanboys and PC elitists in disguise. What I mean by that is, simply put, if you had a problem with 1080p resolution versus 900p or 30 frame stability, maybe you guys need to realize that it's time for you to start investing in PCs, because the people who worry about those things are not really console gamers or have been converted to PC gamers and just don't know it yet, like such as myself. I started out the same way and started getting caught up in these numbers, and then I realized that, wait a minute, the only way to really protect from these numbers is to get a PC. Although I already had one, I realized that this is where you needed to be if you were going to concern yourself with these issues. But also as a gamer, I realized that if you concern yourself with these issues, then you lose sight of the focus, having fun with your games. The Witcher 3 is a great game. You get 80 plus hours of gameplay content Now, the concern for Xbox versus PS3 is the 50 gigs versus the 25 gigs that the Xbox One is asking for. But do remember there will be patches and things of this nature. Now, as far as the performance of the game goes, nothing is earth-shattering to the point where you will not have fun and enjoy your game. So if you want to have fun and you like RPGs, or action RPGs should I say, then you definitely need to be picking up this title and not concerning yourself with the numbers. If you seem to have the numbers bothering you and really sticking to you like that, then I suggest you guys start investing in PCs, because that means on the low you're a PC gamer. Now, hopefully this review was helpful, and if it was, do leave a like, of course. Leave a comment or asking me any questions in the comment section, and I will get back to you. If you didn't like it, then sorry. You know, there are a lot of people out there doing reviews and covering this game. I'm just trying to give you the honest opinion of the game from a multi-platform perspective. Now, hopefully you guys will respect what I said. Hopefully you guys will want to have fun, and if you do like action RPGs, you definitely should not be able to go wrong with this title, especially for $60. You get your bang for it. Now, in a world of people complaining about unfinished games and DLC this and DLC that, you can't go wrong with an initial $60 purchase off the shelf with this title. It's your boy Jimmybgaming, and overall I hope you guys respect that and enjoy the game. I'm out of here. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Deuces.